Hey, welcome, Chubby's. Hey, look,
Hey, we're back. Hey, look what Pudge has.
Look here.
Yeah.
Just because. Cheers, Chad.
Cheers.
I can't say it's my first one.
No, you probably had one right after the competition, but this is the first show bourbon
It is the first show bourbon.
since December.
It is. I was 90 days. Well, is that over 90 days? What is that? 120?
Yeah.
Not gonna make it a habit.
You guys dove hard into that.
We
competition.
did. We got the Southern High Legend on the show,
Yes,
boys.
we do, man.
I mean,
I've been looking forward to this.
I mean-
I can't believe it's taken us this many shows
to get him on.
to get Al Kiefer on this show.
I mean-
were you resistant to it at first, Al?
Yeah, I had to watch.
Oh, you wouldn't do it.
I was worried about Pudge.
Oh, okay.
Hey, you got to watch bringing him into Jackson. Every time he comes here, people get hurt.
Oh well.
Oh, I mean, every time he comes around, that chest swells up. I mean,
he says I like fighting a Jackson guy.
last year, do you remember last year we was up there playing baseball and you got out of the truck and I started screaming from the bleachers. I said, "Put your chest down." I said, "It's just Jackson. We're just here to play mini league baseball, Kiefer. Don't whip us all. Don't whip us all, Kiefer."
Yeah, you was in Vinton County at that time.
I
right?
know. I said, everybody. I said, if he starts running this way, I said, folks, I don't know what to tell you. Hide. I said he hates Jackson people.
Oh man.
Well, welcome though. Finally got you on here.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad it's this week because I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I beat you here.
Pudge did beat me.
Did he really?
Yeah. I don't know how he did it, but
All right. So everybody, all of our listeners are well aware of this competition. You were one of those 15 people involved in the body pod competition.
yes.
And he was King Smack Talker.
Oh, did you keep
You
him
were
stirred up?
giving it to me good.
Oh, I was giving it to him.
You kept him stirred up.
Yeah, yeah, I don't think he knew how to take me right off the bat.
I was worried. I've known you for 30 years. I had to watch what I did.
Well, so what was your take on it, Al? Did you enjoy the competition, or I mean?
Oh, definitely enjoyed it. But I feel like I told Pudge, what more so like the camaraderie that happened with it and everything like that. It was, now I want to see those guys keep going. You know?
Oh yeah.
I
mean, I'll tell you what. I've heard Pudge say this, like, "Hey, win or lose, I feel great."
Yeah.
I mean, is what you were saying. I mean, like, So I mean, it sounds like a lot of guys had that on this journey, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
those Megs guys killed it.
They did.
Those Megs
They had
killed
youth
it.
on their side.
They did. They got that young testosterone.
Yeah.
levels, don't they?
yeah. That's it makes a difference, man.
It makes a big difference.
I'll tell you, you don't know till you start. I'm staring 50 right in the eyeballs, man, and I'll tell you, it between 45 and 50, you start feeling it.
You're not there yet. You're close, aren't you?
I'm 49.
You're 49.
Yeah, he's right there.
Yeah, I'll
with
be
me.
50 and
You're hitting it pretty good though.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I felt like I mean, let's Pudge will sit there and say, but I started in a pretty good pace.
Pretty good pace,
I was probably in a pretty good place.
Yeah. Yeah, you're in good shape.
Yeah.
Oh man, you've kept yourself. in
Yeah,
good
you've
shape,
never let
dude.
yourself get
Well, a little
yeah, you
bit.
did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, there was a beach picture you at one time you've used as a comparison.
Yeah, I got up to like 300 pounds, 280.
Did you really,
Yeah,
man?
285 pounds at one time.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, hell, you're 6'5".
Yeah, you can carry that a little easier.
No, I didn't carry it well.
Oh, you didn't carry one.
I didn't carry it well. I got back we went to the beach. We went to Florida. I got back, and my wife started posting pictures, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's time to change.
Yeah.
So in your work, I mean, you're still doing.
You're active.
You're physical.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a block layer, right?
Right.
So tell me, how has this helped your day versus like whenever you used to come home at 300 pounds?
Oh, like it's night and day. Like you, like before, like heck, you can struggle to bend over and tie your boots. You know what I mean? That's just like
you would
get up
probably
and
come
go-
home from work and just have to drink just to kill the pain.
Yes,
Probably.
exactly. You just like
Is that what you was doing? I mean, not to. I mean, we're
yeah. I mean, somewhat. It was just. I mean, it's just. I don't think I realized how bad off I was until I seen a picture of yourself. I think you get comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you have a kid, you do this and everything like that. So you get comfortable in your your element.
Well, and then it takes like a picture or something like that. I remember there was one of my daughter laying on my chest.
yeah, you've said that picture before.
Yeah, and I mean, I looked at that, my face and everything there. I'm like, good Lord. I mean, I looked like I was on death's door, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's I looked at that and I was just like, I've never let myself be that way before, and I was like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? I was just like, come on. And after that, I've been pretty well. I mean, I'll go through 15 pounds, 20 pounds here and there, but I've never went over 250 ever again.
Well, you work out consistently.
Yeah, I try to work out a good bit.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how deep you were into like the mixed martial arts stuff. I mean, you're deep. You're deep.
I love that. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you've done that. I didn't. I guess I always knew you were a brawler. I mean, that's kind of how I know you, probably.
Yeah, right, Grant.
Well, that was one of the first ones. Yeah, that was one of the first ones. But I'm saying, I mean, I always knew that. I mean, you fought in Tough Man. You're probably the first guy I ever knew to fight in a Tough Man.
Yeah, we did. I think it was at Portsmouth at that time because it was pretty big.
It was late 90s, probably.
It was late 90s, and it was because they would fight in Huntington, and they'd have another one in Portsmouth. And we did the one in Portsmouth.
You won that one, didn't you?
I got runner-up. I lost the championship fight.
Yeah, okay, but you won a fight at least, right?
I won the first night. Obviously, you just fought one the first night. I won that pretty easily, and then fought 3 the second night, and I fought for the championship the fourth fight. And the only reason I lost is because I was out of shape. Like
you
tired.
got tired. You had to fight 4 times in one night.
4 times in one night.
Whiz.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was wild.
Now, what all have you trained in, man?
So me and Jason Prater, obviously,
we the nucleus,
right? Yeah. So me and him. Back in the day when we was sitting there, I always boxed. When I was younger, my dad and them always put me in YMCA up in Akron. And I box up there. So when I came down here, I already
Kiefer's. I bet you they was all boxers, wasn't they?
I don't know. They were pretty wild. I heard some stories about them.
Yeah. I bet you. I know them. I knew your dad.
Yeah.
Guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew your dad. I bet you he was a boxer. I could see him being a boxer.
I'm sure Greg was pretty wild too.
Greg was wild. Yeah. Gib?
Yeah. So I just blamed it on them.
I bet Gib would box you right now.
Gib would probably like to box me right now.
I bet Gib would box. You know Gib Kiefer.
Oh, yeah.
I bet Gib reminds me of like Tony Danza. Gib reminds me of Tony Danza.
I'll tell you who he reminds like Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, yeah. Anthony. What's his last name?
Anthony something.
Anthony.
They're going to fire up on this. We're going to get roasted on this.
Oh.
Well, it's Anthony Red Hot Chili Pepper.
Yeah, Anthony Pepper.
Yeah.
You know Anthony Pepper.
Right.
I can see that. So they would put you in boxing leagues in leagues or training?
YMCA had like a league. You just like you go up there and box like different kids, everything. Like on Saturdays, you train. Like
how old were you then?
Shoot, I was like 5 or 6 years old.
Oh my goodness! So you can say you've been training for a while.
Well, pretty wild. Yeah. Yeah. My dad would probably just laugh. I can't remember too much about it, but I remember my dad would probably just laugh if I get busted in the nose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then, like, did that progress into like kickboxing or Muay Thai?
That's what me and Prater started. We obviously kind of drift apart on kind of training and stuff like that because you come down here. Obviously, it's not around here.
Yeah.
I mean, the bigger inner cities. I mean, a lot of that stuff was like keeping youth to keep going, doing during stuff with summer and everything like that. Down here, obviously, there wasn't nothing like that. So my grandpa. I lived with my grandparents when I was in school, but he always bought me a heavy bag and a speed bag.
Oh, okay.
And so I'd always work that, like on pretty much every night or whatever, work on them and do stuff like that. And then once me and Prater got into jiu-jitsu up in Circleville, I think me and him trained for like 4 or 5 years, 3 or 4 years, something like that for a while with some top talented guys.
Yeah.
I remember that we went to Lancaster. And Wes Sims was huge in UFC at that time. I think he was like 6'11".
Oh wow!
And he fought in the UFC. He was like I think he might have fought for a championship belt at one time. But he had a school in Lancaster, and we all went over there and rolled with his group and everything like that, and we dominated them.
What years would this have been?
Shoot, I'm thinking probably right around 15, 2000, 14, 15. So
10 years ago, maybe 8, 9 years?
It might have been longer than that. It's probably longer. It's probably about 12, 13 years.
Because this is all fair. Like that MMA stuff is kind of fairly new.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say there wasn't a lot of that out there at that time, was there? I mean,
that's when because we was huge fans of like that's when you had to you get the videotapes, you know what I mean, and watch the old school because there wasn't
you couldn't find it.
No, pay-per-view wasn't out, so you had to wait till they had it, and then they would put it on the VCR,
on a VHS tape or DVD or something. You'd have to buy that. DVD.
So, but we would watch that like at that age and just love it.
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't bit the bug yet. There's a lot of people that haven't bit that bug.
Yeah,
but I personally feel like now, as
far as watching it, I mean, I have watched it, but not a lot. I mean,
now this is just me personally. Now I don't. Now if you're a fan, you're a fan.
Yeah.
But there's now me and Snyder had this talk the other day. Now he's not really much into it.
Yeah.
I think it's on its way to become the biggest sport ever.
Well, I mean, I think that you could argue that it's. I mean, I think it's getting close.
Maybe that's just because I'm a fan. Is that just because I'm a fan?
No, I think it's getting close. Now, I mean, you're not talking. I don't think it's rivaling the NFL or NBA.
No, you want to know the difference?
What's that?
The scale.
Yeah,
the money.
Go. Yeah,
the money invested in it right now, but it is coming.
I think it's coming. It's coming. It's the only sport that I can think of that you are competing on a global level.
Well, you're competing against each other,
and you're competing one-on-one at a global level.
Yes, it's
best in the world.
What it's replacing is boxing.
Yeah, boxing's dead.
Yeah,
boxing,
I mean,
they're going to keep. I think that's going to be where all these guys retire to.
See, because that used to be. I mean, when I was when we were coming up, man. I mean, if Mike Tyson was fighting on the weekend, that's
what you watch.
I mean, the heavyweight title, the heavyweight champ was somebody that everybody knew, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you
king
knew,
of the world.
And they were fighting, at least every 3 to 6 months with a relevant fight. Yeah.
Yeah, figure about the time I was in high school was when Tyson started getting in all his trouble. He first got in trouble in 96. Somewhere around in there, I think, is whenever he first went to jail.
Probably so, because we was young when he was.
So then he spent the majority of the next few years in jail, 3 years in jail. So then that took me.
Was that after he bit Evander Holyfield's
Then he comes back in 2001 and bites Evander's ear off.
Oh, was that 2001?
And so then his was kind of over for him. So I really didn't get to grow up with Tyson, other than Mike Tyson's punch outs.
Well, I just remember. I mean, not just Tyson. You knew who the heavyweight champion of the world was, man. And I mean, there were always, you also knew who the 3 or 4 top contenders were, because they might fight each other on HBO.
Well,
something. And then,
even then you had De La Hoya, you had Roy Jones Jr. You had, you know what? There wasn't MMA back then.
No,
I mean, it was just boxing. Now there's competition. And so if you're wanting to be the best in the world, you don't just learn to box anymore. I mean, you're training because you're training in the ground.
One thing,
it's gladiators.
It seemed as though boxing, and maybe this is a false perception, but it seemed like there was always it seemed somewhat corrupt. Hey, Chubbies, how many points do you have on the McDonald's app? We all know and love the McDonald's app, and we want to thank Brad and Sarah Munn for being a great sponsor of our show and of our communities here in Jackson, Oak Hill, Wellston, and MacArthur. McDonald's. Check them out.
Yeah, there's
and MMA with Dana White has kind of stayed clear of that.
Yes.
I mean, there's not.
What do you mean? What do you mean boxing was corrupt?
I mean, talking about different fights being fixed and certain guys not fighting one another.
The numbers game. Anytime you have a large money value on something, someone's going to try to manipulate that.
Guys taking dives.
Do you think that happens in pro sports?
It has to.
Well, I mean,
there's just too much money involved.
I mean, I think it happens.
I mean, we are 3 pretty
avid fans,
avid football fans.
Yeah.
Do you think
guys,
the NFL's
I'll tell you what. We would be naive. Now listen. I'm not going to go as far as to say that the whole league is fixed, like it's like the WWE or something. I'm not saying that.
I don't see how they could script a game. Do you?
No. But what I will say is this: we would be naive to think that certain things don't happen. I mean, are you telling me that the NFL didn't want to see, this past year, who did they want to see in the Super Bowl, bud?
Yeah.
And I mean, look, whether you're a fan of the teams that got beat or not, man, I mean, there was some shady ass calls going on, dude.
And then you take the money involved in the games. And how do these guys get so correct on these numbers?
How is Vegas always so right?
So right. Yeah. I mean, they're always right.
I mean, man, if you get into sports gambling and you're watching the spreads, it's amazing, dude. I mean, you're watching the midnight college football game in Hawaii, which, I mean, you and 10 other freaking people are watching it. All of you are degenerate gamblers. I mean, you tell me how they know within 7 points or 14 points, whatever they say, what the Hawaii-Utah State score is going to be.
Yeah.
But they do.
I
mean, they're on.
And they get it right.
Yeah.
They get it right.
Yeah.
And now how many people – now you got one guy that watches that game to tell you that score? No, you got multiple people. So how's that happen?
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be some shady stuff goes on.
Do you think it's a play call?
Well, I don't know. You can't tell me that there's not money changing hands under a table with some of these big time coaches. And I mean, I'm not calling out some huge conspiracy theory. I'm saying it's been like this probably forever. Every now and then somebody's probably taking a dive. I don't know. What do you think, Al?
I think if you get up 14 and you see if you're up 14 and you see a backup quarterback coming in and you don't see the starter staying in for 2 more series and you see the backup come in, I think
here's what I will say. If a coach, and they all like to say this, it's very cliched. I don't even know what the spread is. Bullshit, bud. Yeah.
You're looking for bulletin board material all week long, and you don't know what the score is. You don't know what the spread is. Come on, man.
And hey, man, they got to count on their alumni now more than ever, man. With all this name, image, likeness stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, you think if they're not scratching some backs there?
Yeah, the game's evolved so much. It would be asinine to think it wasn't somewhat
there's
sketchy.
There's something going on. Yeah, like I said, I don't know that I'm willing to go all in and say, hey, man.
Hey, we're going to lose this game.
Yeah, right.
Well, I don't think that's happening, but I also think, hey, we're going to try to make it as close as possible here.
Yeah, we might not kick that field goal.
Yeah. Or you get a team down 40 and kicks a field goal, and the over-under's fucking 47.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah. That's exactly right. And that's the kind of stuff I think you'll see. But, I mean, I don't know, man. It's a new world. Now the gambling is basically legal on all sports. I mean, it's
Can you gamble on the UFC?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't gamble.
Yeah.
You gamble, don't you?
I love gambling.
Yeah. You're a card guy.
I'm a card guy.
Now, you've went to the World Series.
No. We played, 10 of us played in a tournament.
A qualifier or something?
Qualifier. And it was 10 of us buddies that did it. And
just to fund whoever
won funded. And I got second. Jamie McWhorter won.
Oh, and, yeah. He's been coming, Jim.
Yeah. And McWhorter went out. And he placed, and we got a percentage of that win too. The 10 people that was in it, no matter what, got a percentage of the win. He ended up placing. I forget where he got, but we all got like 800 apiece too out of it.
Oh, to the good.
Now, do you like going and playing Hold'em in Vegas?
I love it.
All right, so you go to Vegas. How many times a year do you go out there?
I usually go about 5.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
And sit at a Hold'em table.
I'll sit at the Hold'em tables or whatever. I might play 3 card.
Will you sit there 20 hours?
I can't do that because my wife would come and get me.
Yeah,
so here and there at that time. Yeah.
So will you go for the weekend and you'll just show up?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never gambled in a casino on like a card table. So tell me how this works.
So, well, I'll just give you a heads up. Like the last time we went, we took my daughter and one of her friends.
Okay.
First night we go out, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go over to MGM. They got a pretty good poker room.
Okay.
So I go over to the poker room, and they're
Are you staying at the MGM?
No, I stay at the Mandalay Bay. Usually, 90% of the time, I stay at the Mandalay Bay.
So you can go to the MGM and just gamble for free.
You can gamble any of the casinos you want.
Oh, yeah. Okay, just walk in.
They'll take your money.
They're glad to see you.
They're glad to see you.
Okay, so you just walk in.
So, but some of them have better poker rooms than others. So I went. MGM's got a pretty good poker room. So I go over to the poker room.
Yeah, that's something I've never done. Like I've played table games. I've never gone back into the poker room like that.
So I'll go over to the poker room. I think it was like 9 o'clock. 3 o'clock, I get a text like, "Hey, you coming back or what?" And I was like, "I'll be back. I'm doing well." So I end up, I think it was like 4:30 in the morning. So I cash out. I cashed in for $300 and I walked out with $4,300.
Yeah. Good night.
It was a good night.
Yeah.
It was a good night. But the sketchy thing is, I'm going from instead of I've been drinking the entire time I was playing too.
Yeah.
Instead of calling a cab and like riding back to the Mandalay Bay, I walked like a dumbass with $4,500 in my pocket
at 4:30 in the morning.
At 4:30 in the morning, and it's Vegas is sketchy at 4:30 in the morning.
You ain't worried about nothing, Kiefer. That's what I'm saying. He just pretend they're all wearing Jackson shirts.
This guy's not scared.
No, he ain't scared nothing.
Yeah.
I said the other day, I'm so glad it was you, because you could have taught me a lesson. What'd you hit me with the other day? A right cross?
I think a right cross, yeah.
And I told you, didn't I? I said it was the most humbling thing that had ever happened to me. You knew it too, didn't you? Well, Kiefer had just humbled me.
Yeah, Kiefer just humbles you. Yeah, you go against like the best guy in the gym.
Yeah. And then I went to you. We were doing like 30-second rounds.
Yeah.
And then I went to Kiefer. And Kiefer had just taught me a lesson, which I think was on purpose, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
You're wanting to learn.
I needed it. Yeah. I needed it. And then I go to you, and I was so bum-fumbled by the time I got to you, and you just put one right on me. And I just about throwed my shit down and just walked out.
Just about quit.
I just about quit.
He just looked at me like, "Did you just do that?" And I was like, "Dude, I held back."
And thank God he's my friend. Because
he was wide open.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad.
I think I threw a 1-2, kind of like a
warm-up shot,
like a faint jab or something, and he kind of just like went like that, and the right cross came right across, and I let up.
You let up.
I let up, and he was just like. He just looked at me. I was like, "Dude, I let up. I let up."
No, I was looking at you like, "Thanks for letting up." I can't believe I just let myself do that. I should have. I wouldn't have before. I was rattled. Gopher had me bad rattled.
Now,
Thin Ben, they call him.
Now, Thin Ben. Now,
yeah,
right?
he beat us all.
Thin Ben.
Yeah, he did really well.
Now, do you ever spar with him, man?
Me, I think Prater called me over.
Because you're a taller guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Well, Prater called me over when he was getting ready for his fight. His first fight or whatever, and called me over, and I sparred with him that day, whatever, a couple days before he went, and we just did hands. Hands, I'm fine a little bit. Don't get me wrong, he's next level.
Yeah, he's next level.
But hands, I'm fine. Like
he's just so long, man.
Dude.
I mean,
dude, he's 6'8" and big dude, and he's moves like he's 5'10".
Yeah,
That's the thing.
The speed he has, the difference, the speed he has from here to here,
his closing speed.
Oh,
well, like just his hand speed from here to here compared to like a lot of people is just unbelievable.
But we boxed, just did hands or whatever, because you add legs into this and mix, and then Kiefer's next level. It's just night and day. Like when you add legs to it, it's just he moves so well. Like I can counter.
Yeah.
Legs, you try to counter, and he's kicking
back around on
you in the head. Yeah. And so he moved, like I said, he's like 6'8".
Yeah.
Probably what did he weigh in? 270?
259.
Oh,
dude.
Man.
But
went from 288 to 259 and gained muscle.
And but he moves so well at that size.
Yeah, he does.
And so I think that's what, because he goes up to Columbus and spars, and I don't think people
is he having trouble finding fights, or like when's he gonna fight again?
I think the kickboxing, he's having trouble finding some fights and everything.
I couldn't blame the guy. I mean, you see that guy, you're like, how the hell do I fight him?
Right, and you had one fight.
Yeah.
You had one fight, and he's just like, okay. But he's going up to Columbus to a good gym, and and sparring those guys, and he's doing really well too. Yeah. So it's not like, okay, we got to find somebody competitive for him.
Yeah. I'd like to see that whole thing just get more popular. Just not like just more of those events that people could go enter.
The lower level stuff. Yes, for sure.
I'm kind of surprised that there's not more fights like that,
Sanctioned fights.
Yeah, on like a beginner's level or whatever you would call it, like for guys to start getting their fights and
I think it's a size difference in Ben's thing. I don't think it's so much like if
not
a guy
having
it'd be a
it
tough guy to
available.
take.
I mean, finding the size.
They probably want to dodge it. Yeah, they probably look at that like, well, hell, I don't want to fight that guy.
Well, it's just like,
why would I do that?
But you have to add to that pool. You just have to keep doing that. And I mean, honestly, there's not a lot of people doing it right now. But I would think that if you kept having those, even if it's just 5 or 6 people on the card,
yes,
it's just going to keep breeding.
Well, it seems like there's more and more jiu-jitsu schools.
We talked about
and this stuff. Like you'd think there'd be more and more people.
There is
wanting to do that.
There is, but I mean, we talked about it this weekend. They had that tough man and Eddie Osborne from Jackson. He now I'm not trying to talk out of turn. I'm just going off of what Todd Yates was telling me. He won Friday. Went to the championship on Saturday and came down to a decision, draw, and lost. So congrats, Eddie. That's still pretty good because I tell you what, because now no disrespect towards those tough man competitions back then, but now you make it that final round on Saturday. I'm telling you, these cats know what they're doing.
Well, I mean, you got some guys in there with training.
Yeah,
it would be like fighting him.
Yeah,
I mean, he might not have any cards on him. Like he might not have been on any cards. He's been fighting for 30 years.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
This ain't no walk in the park.
No.
He knows what he's doing.
Well, he's trained.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like he just walked in 3 or 4 bars, kicked somebody's
this
ass,
ain't
and
your
said,
local
"Hey,
tough guy."
I'm entering in the tough man."
These guys now, like you could tell, like now, especially just what little bit I know now, what little tiny bit, I was like, you can tell the guys that know one little piece.
Yeah.
As soon as they take a couple steps, you're like, uh-oh.
Do you guys remember the guy from the late 90s or maybe even early 90s, Butterbean?
Oh, yeah.
On the Tough Man circuit, then he went pro box. Like, that guy doesn't happen today.
No.
In Tough Man.
No.
I mean, because he was just throwing haymakers when he started. Had an iron chin.
Well, there were still a few guys that made it through that were like that. They would just put so much pressure on you and just attack you.
So unorthodox, probably.
But like they're fine in that boxing thing. But as soon as like they would ever meet a jiu-jitsu guy or somebody, or like another boxer,
that's what we was talking about the other day too. Is like you was asking about that, and I was like, well, most of these guys that enter it are at local gyms.
Right.
They're training MMA. They're training MMA. They might not have a pro fight or an amateur fight yet, but they've been training for a while, so they'll enter that for practice and stuff like that. So I say you get 100 entrants. I bet 70 know what's going on, and you get like 30
they're kind of go through haymakers.
Yeah, their buddy signed them up to get drunk and go in there. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't feel 100% confident about going in there and winning on a Friday night.
No.
Depending on who you draw.
Yeah.
Chubby's, we all know this guy. All the folks over at AP Prep, we cannot thank you enough. Look those guys up at apprep.info. We get asked all the time, hey, what happens? How do you get over there? Hey, that's how you do it. You get on apprep.info. You look them up. You set a time for your kid's assessment. They schedule a time. You bring your kid over there. Boom, it's done. They get you right in the schedule. And, hey, for all you adults, you just show up on Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday night at 5:30, and they got their boxing classes. It's $10, or you can join by the month. So look them up at apprep.info.
Now, at least they have divisions now. Like, this is what...
How do they divide it? By weight or experience?
Weight.
Okay.
Weight, yeah, because most of them will tell them they don't have any experience.
You're not allowed to have any experience.
Okay.
It's a tough man, not a...
Yeah, now if you fought another tough man, that doesn't count, right? So,
I think you're allowed to come back to those.
Yeah, you're allowed to fight different ones. Because there was when I did it, there was a few guys that won it like 3 or 4 years in a row. But the funny thing is like there's only back then there was only like 185 down, 186 up.
Oh, yeah, boy, that's
186 and up was
That's a vast difference.
Oh yeah, that was a vast difference.
Now tell us about this Ruckel. Did he fight in one?
I don't.
Well, he claims he did. Now he claims a lot of stuff. I
was getting ready to say if he claimed he.
He claimed he was going to compete in this competition, and we found out he's got about as much fight as an old cur dog.
I think that's Hamden blood. There's a lot of Hamden blood in there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I'm glad you said that.
I mean, they talk like Ben Everest. They all talk real.
Do they?
Yeah, they talk a lot, but you never see them do anything. You know what I mean?
Ruck, you hear that, boys?
Poor Ruck getting filleted. Not even here.
I mean, he come in dead last.
I mean, absolutely dead last.
Well,
Did he even wake out of bed?
I don't think he got up.
I don't think he got up.
He blames it on basketball, but I think he just laid in bed.
I give the man credit for showing up to the bod pod, though.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
I mean, when he didn't, I mean,
it was like 4 hours late.
Oh, no, I don't. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he didn't go with us.
Oh, okay.
He went about 4 hours late.
Okay.
I heard the lady say, well, "You're the only disappointment of the whole day."
Yeah, everybody did great except for Rock.
Yeah, Rock went in and she's like, "Are you the same person?" He's like 2 pounds less. Right,
Yeah.
2 pounds.
Yeah.
He probably just pissed it out on the way up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He loaded on the way there that day.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you gave time. But I thought he always told us that he fought in one of those.
I don't remember that. I don't recall
I don't
that.
know.
I mean, I'm not saying he didn't. Don't hold it. Don't
See, that's how I remember all you guys originally back whenever I first met you guys. Whenever I was in high school, you guys were all doing that at the time. That's kind of how I knew Prater. Or not, he didn't fight in that, but like he was around. You guys were the ones like, there was a group of Jackson guys that thought we was all tough. There was a group of Wellston guys thought that they was tough, and there was a group of MacArthur guys thought they was tough, and you guys were actually the ones out fighting. I can honestly say the Wellston and MacArthur guys fought.
The stories I have heard about that group.
Oh, they were savages.
I mean, you guys didn't take any prisoners.
No,
we did some bad stuff back in the day. I'll tell you.
Now, would you tell me this? Was your mindset, you guys would get together on a weekend?
Yeah.
Was your mindset, hey, let's go out and hang out, have some beers, chill out? Or was it, hey, let's go out and kick somebody's ass?
I think there was some.
this is great.
I like how he approached it. He's like, well,
You liked it.
Honestly, I like the competition part of it.
Yeah.
It's like honestly, it was just like that. But also, like after you get after you a while, you get a name, anyways. So no matter if you was just wanting to have a good time or whatever,
it would come to you.
It's coming to you. It's coming to you.
Somebody wants to test it.
Because I can honestly say you and I've known you now as long as anybody.
Right.
Never had a crossword.
No, never.
But I never tried.
Right. But also, a lot of people have this perception of me, like, oh, he's an asshole. He'll fight. Dude, I'm the total opposite. You get to know me.
I've known you a long time, man. I've seen you in a lot of different places, out and about. I used to run around with Brennan and them all the time. We'd run into you guys.
Nope, not one issue.
It was always hey, man, hey, what's up? How's it going? I mean, I never saw it.
And I think always people, like they used to get I don't mean you guys, but like, in general, I think society used to like think that was bad. There's nothing wrong with a man having, standing up for himself.
No.
Especially, I mean, you were boxing at age 5.
Yeah.
At the local YMCA.
I think Kiefer goes in the category. He didn't start fights.
No.
He finished them.
He finished them.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, you talked about it a little bit before show. I mean, you grew up kind of dysfunctional situation. I mean, just what happens, man. In Southern Ohio, it is what it is.
Yeah, I grew up with, I would go back to my dad, uncles, and that stuff. So to learn how to swim, normal people go to swimming class, you know what I mean? That. Well, we grew up on the water. You water skied, that was the Kiefer thing. You get up, you were going boating Saturday, we're getting out water skiing and everything like that. I'm 4 years old. And when they jump in, obviously I got a little life jacket on, whatever. So when they get in to go to ski, they switch each other off. I jump in. You know what I mean? We're in the high river, and they're like, hey, you're cutting our time. We're waiting for you to get back in here. You're going to have to learn how to swim so you can get in the boat quicker because we're wanting water ski. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yep.
We're going to teach you how to swim. Yeah. So they just grab me, throw me in. High river, all right? 4 years old. I got a life jacket on. They turn. I'm like, they're like, swim. I was like, all right, I'm trying. They started the boat up and took off. At my age, I probably thought it was like 200 miles. It was probably like 10 yards, 10. But it was like
felt like
it felt like it. And they was like, hey, you better learn how to swim. That barge is coming.
Yeah.
I turned around and started looking. There's a big barge. I mean, it's probably miles away.
Yeah.
But at 4 years old, you're thinking, oh,
I better kick it in.
I
here.
better kick it in.
See, that tells me that swimming is a natural thing. It's an
Oh, yes,
it's an
it's
instinct.
It's
Swimming,
instinct.
Swimming's an instinct.
Because I'll tell you right now, I swam to that boat. I swam to that boat.
I can see the Kiefers
They
doing
just
that
had
right
to,
now.
they had to put you in touch with your instincts.
Yeah. So
You know,
now, so when they was like, I knew when to jump in, and I knew when they was ready to go, get ready to start, I was back in the boat.
There you go.
They wasn't helping me up or dragging me back.
Now, let me ask you this. How'd you teach your son how to swim?
I'm a little bit easier on him.
Okay.
I'm a little bit easier on him. Even though he's probably a lot wild. He's probably a little different than me.
Yeah.
That kid's something else.
Yeah, I like G. He's really good with Gibson.
Oh yeah, dude,
He's really good with Gibson.
especially being my kid, man. He's a good kid.
Yeah, he does. Real
Come
well.
on now.
He does real well.
I got a good story for you. So we'll talk about fights. You know, how I got started. It was a boy named Ray Braden,
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
and you guys probably know him.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I know of him.
Yeah. So 90% of my fights back in the day were probably Ray related.
Okay.
So this is how it got started. So we're in Athens. Carl Williams is a freshman in college over there, or a sophomore in college over there. So one night we go over. I'm a junior in high school. Ray's a senior in high school. We go over, and I don't know if you guys can remember Nickelodeon uptown.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Greenery? Was that the Greenery?
Yeah.
No, the
For
Greenery
me,
was
was it? No, yeah.
the Greenery,
It's right
and then there's
beside
a
it.
Nickelodeon down by Nickelodeon used to be down by BW3s, where BW3s
Where
is.
Skippers was. and all-
Yes.
Is that where Nickelodeon was?
It's like right by BW3s.
It was right down.
That must have been just. I remember the name. I just can't remember.
Yeah.
Well,
Can't remember Nickelodeon.
So we're in there, and so a lot of the OU football players are bouncers in there.
Yep.
And so, obviously, like we said earlier, was outside of this the conversation. If you're out at 2:30 in the morning, you're looking for two things, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, at that time, I'm sitting there. I'm a junior in high school. I'm a pretty decent sized kid at a junior in high school, so they probably don't think it. I'm in there with fake ID or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, this bouncer's pushing people in the back, pushing people in this back. And I told Ray, I was like, if this dude pushes me in the back, it's on. Like, it's going down.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not putting up with that.
Yeah.
And he goes, do it. Do it. And I'm like,
Shout out Ray Braden.
oh,
He
yeah.
started it all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we're walking out, and that guy comes over, and he's getting ready to touch me. And I was like, look, don't touch me. I go, if you touch me,
You told him.
I told you. I told him. I was like, if you touch me, we're going. And this dude was big. I mean, he was big. He was probably about 6'3", old muscle, about 220.
Yeah.
And he's
Probably
like
20 years old.
Yeah.
22 years
Yeah,
old.
I'm 17.
Yeah,
You're not supposed to be there.
You're not supposed to be there.
You're not even trying to be incognito.
No.
Kiefer.
Look at her fight.
So then here comes Ray. Ray goes, I'll bet you $500 he beats your ass to the guy. And so riding around, we're walking out, and like here where the bar is, the bar manager's there. He goes, I got 500 on that. Starts laughing. So all right, about this time, I'm like, all right, let's do it. I'm already in the mood anyway, so I'm
Yeah,
like,
you're-
all right,
yeah, you're-
all right, yeah. So we walk out, and I was sitting there, and by this time, dude,
This is organized cockfights.
it was.
Oh,
And
how
it's-
many people throwing bets?
And it's on Court Street in Athens. So at 2:30 in the morning, what do you think people are going to be doing?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're watching.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they're
It's a
watching.
party.
So, yeah, so I was sitting there, and this guy's. I'm the first one to walk out. So this other guy's right behind me. He's a big dude. I was like, I got one chance to win this fight.
Do it now.
Do it now. And he goes, Is this where we're going to do it? And I said, yep, this is where we're going to do it. I just turned around and knocked him out. One punch.
Oh, yeah.
And Ray looks over the bar manager and goes, that's 500. And tell him when he wakes up, that kid's 17 years old.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be in here.
Oh, my God.
Oh, savage comment.
Hey, Chubbies. When was the last time you had somebody take a look at your life insurance? It's something that nobody likes to talk about. But one thing I know about Pudge is he's coming to your funeral. You might as well have him show up with a check and take care of those loved ones. That's the time when they need it the most. He's writing it every day, come have that conversation with him and get it done. And by the way, if you own a business and you haven't let Pudge quote your commercial insurance, you're making a mistake. Let him check it out. Make sure you got proper coverage for the best value on the market. Gillum Insurance for all your insurance needs. 740-395-0190.
Savage.
Call the squad. Long bed that fucker.
Yeah, long bed him out of here. Kiefer just long bedded this man out of here.
I'll never forget that line. You probably don't even remember. I think we were at Coop's Bar up there in Wellston. It was either that or Marilavos. I was with Sean Brennan. There was a bunch of us back there. Prater was there.
Yeah.
Some guy was getting cocky or whatever. You made the comment. You go, well, if that guy goes just a little bit further, he said, they're going to long bed his ass on there. And I looked at Brennan and I go, what's a long bed? He said, I think he's talking about a stretcher. But I've never forgotten that, and I've used it. I can't tell you how many
You have
times.
used that.
Oh, I use that all the time. Dude.
Yeah.
I'll use it in a football game.
Yeah.
I'll be like, somebody just long bed that bastard off the field. Let's get him out of here. Get the long bed out. But yeah, Kiefer sits there. If he keeps that up, they're gonna long bed that boy out of here.
I'm glad I changed.
Dude, that was great. It was. Great.
I honestly,
and you didn't go fight him. You were just kind of watching him, like,
right.
man. I mean, and I don't know that you meant that maybe you were going to do it or somebody
someone was going to do it.
Yeah, like that guy was going to leave here on a long bed.
well, I mean, we're all three dads, I mean, to circle back around.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't think there's anything wrong with what you've done. Like, I don't think there's, I mean, I've been around you on several of those occasions, and I honestly, I mean, now, hey, you're not the guy to go over there and poke. You're not going anywhere.
No.
But
what I like about Al, he don't talk about fighting.
No.
It's if you're going to fight, like, it's
Sure.
just like with that guy, like, hey, it's on. We're not going to go out here and dance around, talk about who's going to whip who. I mean,
and I mean, I think that I mean, there's just. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I think that goes back to being how you're raised too, because I was taught by them, like,
jump in the pool.
If you're gonna fight,
You're
fight.
gonna fight. Yeah.
You fight.
Yeah, and I don't see anything wrI that. I mean, that's just like you said, that was a way of life. And now I think going back to, like, what you're doing now and how me and you've become better buddies is, I like this stuff now, and I know you do too. It kind of helps keep a lot of that anger in check.
Oh, certainly. So much. It's just like,
it's fun.
Yes, and you relieve stress. And then the guys, like, I don't like the camaraderie of it all. Like, everybody that's in there is super awesome people.
Yep.
And another thing too was, like, what me and you and Prater were talked about the other day is the business aspect of everything. Now you have so much respect for other people, but you surround yourself with people like you.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we're competitive. Yeah, I want to be competitive. If I'm not competitive, bury me.
Sure.
I mean, I don't want, like, if I'm not competitive, I don't want to be alive.
You have to compete.
Yeah, you compete in everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Everything.
I don't know how a man could lose his competitive spirit. And going back to, like, what you were talking about with those instincts, I mean, there's several things that I've stumbled onto over the years. There's a lot of this stuff that's all that is instinct.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of the stuff that we're trying to correct as dads and everything is not. It's there.
It's a whole different aspect now too with social media. It's just like now, like, when we grew up, you also had that, like, okay, this kid, you heard about this kid, about this kid.
Yep.
Through people talking.
Yep.
Now it's everybody's got social media and can discuss and find out, and then they're friends with them, and then they're all the competitive nature in today's society is no longer, like, I think there's competitiveness, but nothing like.
We were
It's
talking.
changed.
We were
It's
talking about.
changed.
Chad and I were talking about earlier. Shout out these guys. They did a great job. But Saturday we had this baseball thing, and they had a home run derby. And I mean, this is not a bad thing. It was a great day. I'm tickled to death to be there. It was
great event.
Great event. I'm tickled to death. Thanks for letting me be a part of it. My son loved it. But we moved the home run derby up to the second base how would you say that, Chad? Well, we moved the home run derby to second base.
The youngest group was in the grass behind second base.
Yeah, and we were hitting over the fence.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was how we did our home run derby. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't know how many feet that was.
Yeah, well, I think the idea was, hey, we're going to have
a
lot of home runs.
A lot of home runs. And you know, we were talking about, like, you know, I don't think, you know, speaking of social media and everything that's going on, I don't think that, like, hand-eye coordination and things, and I'm not talking about being great sports players. I'm talking about using your body. I'm talking about the humans using their skills other than typing and texting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm talking about hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
If what I saw Saturday versus what I remember as a youth is correct, then we have went. How far backwards would you think?
I don't know, man. Quite a bit. I mean, here's what now I could be that old guy that, you know, walked to school uphill in the snow.
I'm not saying that.
Right. I mean, I don't.
But we talked about kids were hitting back in those same years. Kids were hitting the railroad cars.
Oh yeah.
Over the same fence that was higher.
Yeah. Yeah.
With pitches.
Right.
Why did we have to move?
What was old Eddie Jones field?
How many feet?
Same now.
The big
Same,
fence.
same,
180
yeah.
on the corner is about 210.
But it had the tall fence, right?
It used to. Now it's short.
Yeah, but back in the day when we were growing up, it had a tall fence,
Yeah,
right?
it did, yep.
Yeah.
So third and fourth grade, I remember hitting a home run out there.
Well, we moved we moved everybody even up to 12U out to second base.
That 12 you hit from home plate.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I was there. I pitched to the 10U. That kid was so big.
Yeah. Yeah. But and like, you know, the only thing I can think of, man, you know, home run derbies are tough because everybody's swinging out of their shoes.
Shoot.
But like, I just think of how many times, like, look at what your day was consisted of when you
were right.
When you were 8, 9,
Absolutely.
10 years old, dude. I mean, you were out there playing baseball all day long with your buddies.
So tell
how
Kiefer
many
what,
swings?
Tell Kiefer what you said.
I mean, what I was saying is, I think the difference is now there's more to do, and like they're practicing a ton, doing all that, but like
playing more games,
and they're playing maybe more organized games. But like I don't discount how many reps we got in the backyard and in the parking lots.
How important
on that field? I mean, just like playing with a tennis ball.
Or how important is 3-on-3 baseball in the back?
Shit,
you know, just with
man.
the neighborhood kids.
Well, think
how
many swings
you were
getting. I don't care if it's a wiffle ball or what it is. Think how many swings, and are they getting that many swings today?
Yeah, that's it.
And we didn't have anybody instructing us, dude.
No.
Nobody was like, hey, dude.
But you didn't want to be the chump that couldn't hit.
Well, no, but you also, like, nobody was telling us, like, hey, man, you got to have that elbow tucked in. And
But you learned that on yourself. These kids all have to be taught.
Yeah,
they do, don't they?
They all have to be taught. And if their parents aren't teaching them, they're specialized taught.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I mean, we probably developed a lot of bad habits.
But we probably did, but also back then we developed a nature to compete.
Oh, yeah.
So if say Pudge is out here hitting home runs left and right, and me and you hit 2.
Yeah, we're going to be like,
what are we? We're watching. What's he doing? We're watching Pudge to see what he's doing.
Yeah, right.
But now you have to have someone tell you how to do it, right? You got to pay for someone to tell you how to do it.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great point.
It's like, why are we paying people to teach when we used to be able to learn ourselves?
And I mean, I don't even know that that's the wrong thing to do. But what I'm saying is the difference is there's just the kids now aren't doing that. They're not going out and playing pickup baseball games.
But they're not out learning. They're not out learning what's best for them. This guy can teach you how to hit,
but if you don't buy in,
but he can teach you the best way he knows.
Yeah.
What if that's not the best way I know?
But what if your kid truly isn't bought in? We were bought in back then. We were bought in when we were out in the backyard. We were bought in.
Oh, buddy, and like I don't know. Like, and it maybe it's the same now, man, but little league, minor league, you know, it was competitive, dude.
Oh,
I mean, like, you know, you wanted to beat those other teams.
Oh, yeah.
Jackson. We were playing 2-3 games a week, and on the weekends there was always something.
Well, that goes back to the social media aspect.
Yeah,
like back in the day, when if we were playing Jackson, I want to beat your butts.
Oh,
you know what
my
I mean?
God,
And
yes.
I don't want you to beat anybody else either.
No.
Now these kids, when they win and they come off the court, man, hey, good luck in the rest of the season. I hope you win. Like back in the day, we didn't want you guys to win. We didn't want you to
I
win.
wasn't real sure up until 10 years ago. You even liked me.
Well,
Well, he still doesn't.
That was like subject to change a little bit.
No, I mean, but that's a good point too. Like now, like they're playing on all these AAU teams together and different stuff. I mean, kids just approach it differently, and they can talk to each other all the time. I mean, they're buddies, man.
After Sunday, I'm not sure I do like you.
But
April or August 1st, we're going back at it again.
I mean, this really
rated
it reminds me though of the debate currently going on with the NBA. Like you get a lot of the guys saying, like, man, the 80s and 90s NBA, that's when there was a fight when people, got in there and got physical. Now, hell, they're all buddies. They just want to go out there and give each other hugs.
It's a complete different game. It's weird how sports has changed so much. I mean, look back, okay.
Great comparison there with that NBA.
Yeah, I mean, now everybody loves each other. And even the NFL, dude.
Remember the Pistons and how...
Oh, they hate each other.
Oh, my God.
Well, and I mean, think of even
Bill Laimbeer.
And even in the NFL, think of some of the old rivalries that were there, man. I mean, there was hatred.
They would cancel you now.
Oh, there's hatred. Yeah,
Now
man,
you get canceled.
now we're all circling up after the game, singing "Kumbaya," and,
trading jerseys.
So can that fire be lit? And you compete with all that love.
Well, I mean, obviously, I think you can. That's just the way it works now. But hey, listen, dude, there's some outliers in there. I mean,
the Kelsey, Travis Kelsey or whatever, with the Chiefs, he was kind of like that.
Oh, I love him, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because he's so competitive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to
from
win.
Cincinnati, told that mayor to kiss his ass.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's the other kind of shit you got. You got that mayor. I mean, dude, you tell me in 1991 if the mayor of Cincinnati would have ever made a comment like that.
Yeah, right.
I mean, give me a break. Who is that guy? Has he ever even put a uniform on? I mean,
I don't know what he did. What did he say?
he's the one that called Arrowhead Stadium. We're going to make that Burrowhead. That's the mayor of Cincinnati that said that.
Right before the
game, dude. Yeah. I mean, of course it's gone to the bulletin board. It's the mayor of Cincinnati. Yeah. And I mean, apparently.
I mean, that's just kind of something. I mean, hey, he stuck his chest out there, right?
Yeah.
But some people don't need to stick
well,
their
like,
chest
hey,
out.
listen,
You know what I mean?
listen. If Joe Burrow wanted to say that, or somebody on the
could back
team,
it up,
Yes.
I mean, the mayor. I mean, Bob, you ain't really got a dog in the fight. Let's just relax.
Why is it the owner talking? You know what I mean? The mayor is the mayor. You're the mayor.
Yeah.
Hey guys, huge thanks out there to everybody down at Geiger Brothers Construction. Those guys as a whole unit have just been wonderful for the Chubbies. We appreciate each and every one of you hardworking people out there that listens to us. And thank you, Geiger Brothers Construction, for all your project needs. Give those guys a call, 740-286-0800.
I mean,
Yeah. All right. What else we got? Anything?
I don't know, man.
We've
It's been a
been
pretty
about
good
an hour?
go. Yeah, it's been a pretty good go.
You gonna come back on the show?
You've
Yeah,
got to. dude.
anytime.
We got to get you
Anytime.
back.
Hey, we didn't even talk about your business.
I know.
Let's talk, hey, real quick,
Yeah.
give you let's talk just a little bit about
you're
that.
doing like finishing? You're not you are a concrete finisher.
No,
but
I
you're-
do block and masonry.
Yeah.
And like
But
that.
you're like-
I do some concrete.
But
here.
whenever I say concrete, like you're doing like specialty concrete, like if you have a fireplace that needs built out of stone,
yes, and stuff like
chimney work,
that. Block, stone,
block
brick,
retaining walls.
retaining walls.
Yeah.
Good bit of those.
pools,
Yeah, so I'll do. We do a lot of
outdoor fireplaces.
outdoor fire pits, kitchen. We just did a huge pool house for one of my buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things like that right
Precision masonry, right?
now. Precision one masonry. Yes.
Precision.
How do they
precision.
find you, man?
We are on Facebook right now, working on the website and everything like that.
Okay.
Are you full go into that?
Yeah,
Are you?
I got 12 employees right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
You guys are busy?
busy,
Good.
super busy. Just got
What's the wait list if somebody calls you, man?
Oh, I have a huge project getting ready to start in General Mills, so we're probably looking. I'd like to do stuff on the weekends still too. My guys like to do stuff.
Yeah.
So it depends really what the project is, but probably 2 months right now, 2.5 months.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
well,
that's
and I mean,
pretty
I've seen your work on Facebook and
Yeah.
the reviews. I mean, you guys are
appreciate
killing.
it.
I know you
killing it.
helped out our boy Eddie.
I tried to help out.
Oh,
Eddie.
you can't help out, Eddie.
I know.
Oh, gosh.
But I love his solo.
Eddie's old school with us. Eddie's old school with us.
I've known Eddie, Cheese, Eddie, and Walter. Walter.
Hey, do you remember Walter Mahan?
Dude, I only met him a couple times, man.
Walter Mahan. I mean, there was another guy that I met with all you guys, Kiefer.
Yeah,
man, Walter Mahan was a special individual.
He was probably one he might be the most strangest person you will ever meet.
Yeah,
and it's in a great way.
Yeah,
but one of the most solid human beings you'll ever meet. Man.
I had a guy tell me this about myself, but I think that I'm not as much like this as what Walter Mahan was. I had a guy tell me one time. They said, Jason, they said, you really take an interest in people. They said, a lot of times they said it's apparent that you take an interest in people. You're not just fluff,
right?
And Walter Mahan was that way. Oh. Walter Mahan loved interacting and getting to know people.
Yes,
he was the king of it.
Yeah, he loved to know. Walter would love to spread his wings everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He would like to be able. All right, if there's nothing going on in Vinton County, I'm going to Jackson.
I'll go to Jackson.
If there's nothing in Jackson, I'm going to Galplis. You know what I mean? And that was a very intelligent way to mesh out.
Yeah. He and I crossed paths a lot, and I think it was just because we were flying in the same thing. We were both crisscrossing. What do you think Walter would be doing now?
Man, I would like to think Walt would be probably, I'd say a lawyer. That's what he wanted to do.
That's what he wanted to be,
yeah. I would say, I want to say he'd probably be around this area.
Being a lawyer.
Making money off of guys like us back in the day.
Helping us all. He'd be our guy.
Yes.
He would have been our guy. Yeah. I'm very fortunate that over the years, and I think anybody that stuck around locally, I've called this group the melting pot. That's how I met the Eddie Hugheses and the Cheeses and the Kiefers and them. But we all, it was like a group of us, and it was the guys that stayed.
Sure.
A lot of guys leave here. Whatever.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys leave here. But we all stayed, from class of 93 to class of 99 or however you want to look at it. The groups of the 90s, and we were, so, it was a melting pot. So we all, everybody crosses paths. Yeah, everybody crosses paths. And it's been really cool over the years, just like even here, Kiefer and I are 25 years later, 30 years later, and here you and I are.
Oh, yeah.
You and I's paths crossed.
Yeah.
How many years, in high school?
Yeah. I mean, you're talking 90.
I was an 8th
90s.
grader.
Yeah.
Whenever you and I first met.
Yeah.
And how that whole melting pot in Southern Ohio, it's just always been a cool thing.
That's what I love about our area.
Yeah.
It's the watching and seeing the development of people. Yeah. Like seeing the development of Chad. Yeah. Seeing the development of you coming up. You know what I mean?
Dude, you know what? We were talking just briefly beforehand, and I mean, we won't go in a rabbit hole on this, but Al is very instrumental in the Vinton County Pee Wee football program.
Sure.
And I've been coaching here.
And now you guys are working together.
We get our two teams have gotten together now for 2 years in like a practice type scrimmage type thing.
Yes.
And it's been one of the most helpful things for our program. It's just been awesome.
Yeah.
And it's like, we've known those guys forever, and there's any animosity. We're all rooting for each other. And it's awesome. Man.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's right. Dude, I told Prater this the other day. I was like, my kids, we all coach different, you know what I mean, and everything. I'm more hardcore. Like, hey, we're going down, get down, get it. Then they get Chad. Yeah. Chad's he's so yes, dude. After our practice and after that practice, when we were together, our kids was just like a whole different ball game. It's just like, it's just like he gets them so amped up, man. It's so awesome.
Yeah, you told me that Sunday. He was giving you props Sunday on how you
I give their program. I mean, and what he's doing over there, dude. I mean, and it's been one of the most helpful things for our kids and what we do, because I'd say the same thing about his coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, when your kids can hear a different voice and it's a positive voice and it's good coaching, I trust those guys to have our kids, and I think they trust us.
So what do you guys do? So you guys switch kids for the day?
No, what we basically do is, we started off saying, well, let's have a scrimmage.
Yes.
And then we're like, well, hey, why don't we practice together for an hour and then scrimmage.
Yeah.
So we go through a bunch of drills together.
Oh, okay.
Everything, and all of them together.
Yeah.
Like all the lines. Both
like
teams, offensive line.
Jackson and Benton County kids are all meshed together.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
no, we're not Jackson go first, Benton
no,
County.
no.
We mesh them all together, and then they go through an hour practice together.
Yeah.
Okay.
A bunch
Yeah.
of different stations and different things. And then we get together at the end, and then we run 10 and 10 or
10
whatever.
and 10 plays together in scrimmage.
But like by then, I think both teams are kind of comfortable with the other coaches and the other kids, and hell, they're coaching each other, slapping each other high fives, and I mean, it's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so awesome. It's like he said, it helps them so much that it helps us. Like like our kids, I don't think they're ready for the impact, especially at like that 3rd, 4th grade level. They don't realize, hey, these guys are trying to
Help us.
Well, they don't. You're going against your friends in practice that 3rd, 4th grade,
Yeah.
and they're not. They're barely tackling.
Yeah.
So you open up and you get over there, and they're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
these kids want to
And
hit
they
us.
start getting it. Yeah.
And the mindset comes.
Everybody goes a little harder.
It goes a little harder, and they start hitting each other, and they understand. And
Okay.
so even after the Jackson practice and the scrimmage, our practices are so much better. It's
Yeah.
just like night and day. It's
Well,
like
I think it's one of those beautiful things that goes way back to playing and coaching for me, man. But I've always just had a tremendous respect for Benton County football.
Yeah.
I
me
just
too.
have,
Yeah.
and like getting those two groups together, it's like, man, they ought to be friends because they're so similar in what.
well, that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
yeah, and that's what I say. Like the respect you guys have. Obviously,
Yeah.
if you're around this area, you got to respect Jackson football.
Sure.
So I tell my kids, hey, we might go down there, and they're gonna have 30, 40 more kids than us, but you know what? We're gonna go down and compete.
Sure.
And we're going to play against them because you know why? That's who we want to be.
Sure.
I mean, like I don't want to go and scrimmage. Certain teams. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that.
Well, and
what's it do?
And their kids are tough, man. They'll
Oh,
fight
yeah.
you. They'll play hard. And the thing that's cool is Al and their guys. I mean, they're receptive. I mean, hell, we all they coach our kids. We coach their kids. It's fun, man.
Yeah, it's just a good time.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know you guys
Yeah,
all did all
we've
that.
done that 2 years in a row, and I hope we do it again. I hope we keep doing it forever.
Oh,
man.
forever.
It's a
Just
great-
watch it. If his chest ever starts thumping real big, you know he's getting bad.
well, he knows that I'm keeping down. I'm
I've
crouching
seen you
away
get-
from
I've
it.
seen
I
you
crouch
get-
away
Well, we
from it.
Ruckle coaches, so
Yeah.
I mean, you
Oh,
got,
you got neutral
watch it.
ground.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have lost
Well,
him.
now Ruck will throw his chest out too.
Well,
I mean,
Ruckle, he's wearing red now.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, he's-
I think we've got him.
Yeah, we've got him.
Now, he
You know,
might
he's
not
turned
admit
coat.
that. He might not admit
Well,
that.
it depends
He might admit it.
It depends on how many of you is in the room. You know, we'll just go ahead and say it how it is.
right.
You know, we'll depend on what room he's
I
staying
wonder
in.
if he even still has a Benton County shirt.
Oh, I
mean,
maybe.
he's got a lot of red shirts.
Well,
though.
you guys, he's got a lot of red. You guys gave him that.
He probably won't forget back in them days.
Yeah.
You know what
Well,
I mean?
now he's
Yeah.
got. Now he does have the one that he had in the alumni,
Alumni football, yeah.
The football.
Yeah. Sean has
laughed.
played that video back for us. a
Hey,
few
what he,
times.
I
Yeah.
think what did he play? One down.
He looked like he's about to die. I didn't know if it was his blood pressure
Well,
or
I
his
thought
glycerin.
he had a catch and maybe a little bit of a run after catch.
Did he?
I think so. It was pretty impressive on film, or it was maybe a downfield block.
I think
But
you
it
were
was-
watching
it was-
warm-ups.
Yeah, well, maybe it was edited to make him
Yeah,
look
yeah.
a little better. But it
May
was,
I
it was
say,
pretty
maybe they
impressive.
stayed after.
You pulled your hammy.
Oh, I pulled my hammy back.
He was purple.
Oh shit!
I was purple from my ass cheek. I was purple from my ass cheek to my Achilles tendon.
It's not a good outing.
Oh, I was playing pretty good. What happened is I scored the first touchdown,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and what happened is obviously you get older, you don't want to come out.
No,
When
well,
you come out, you're done,
and
right?
you got that whole thing like where your brain is still writing checks that
Yeah,
sometimes your body
yeah.
can't cash anymore.
And that's what
Yeah.
what happened. It's like, hey, go back in, Kiefer, third quarter.
Yeah.
I've been standing there letting everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Other people were playing, so I stood there. So I got tightened up, and I went out for a route, and I felt it pull. In my mind, I'm like, that's all right. I'll just keep going. I'll just keep going. So I kept going. And then the next day, oh my.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, it's bad.
Well, that's the thing. Like when your adrenaline's up and you're moving, it doesn't get that bad. But lay
that's bad.
down.
I remember we was at the beach, and some guy walked up beside me. He goes, "Yep, that's a pulled hamstring." Like, dude, it was so bad looking.
Swelled up.
It didn't swell. It was just like a dark purple bruise
Oh,
from my all the way down.
I think I did that. It was 3 or 4 years ago. I was walking in the house and slipped on a toy. did the splits, just tore my hamstring.
Oh,
and I mean, it was that way, black, and it looked awful.
Yes.
I mean, and it felt worse.
yes, it does. Yes.
I did in a softball game probably back when it was late 20s.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I told you who was my ref tonight, my umpire.
Yeah.
Chad Jenkins.
Chad
Shout
Jenkins,
out
that's the
Chad
man,
Jenkins.
dude. Yeah. He had me in stitches last night, man. That guy's awesome.
He's still doing it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. But hey, so look him up, precision. I got the dry mouth here from this. This pollen's about got me.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get on some Zyrtec, man.
Yeah.
Oh no, man. Been in Columbus all day. Had a real good workshop today. I'll tell you about that.
Good.
But hey, how can I look you up? Precision One Masonry.
We're on Facebook, and website will be up here pretty shortly.
All right. Well, Chubby's.
Al, thanks, buddy.
Appreciate you guys.
Cheers,
Thanks.
Always a
man.
good time talking to you.
Cheers,
buddy.
brother. All right. All right.
Heck, I'm empty, but
I'm
cheers.
empty. Yeah. All right. Hey, Chubby's, look us up. We'll be seeing you.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Yeah. Anything else we need to tell Chad?
Well, I mean, we're hiring.
We're hiring. Yes.
You may have seen that on social
Yeah.
media.
Check out our
Check
social
us
media
out.
stuff. Subscribe on the YouTube channel. All right. See you.